Who the hell is this guy? And why should I listen to him? Let me explain. As is the name of this channel, my name is Dr Zain. I'm a GP, I live and work in Scotland, and the purpose of this video today is to tell you why I think it's worth having this channel, and I think it's worth you knowing why I started it, and a little bit about my transformation and how I went from this to where I am now. So I've been working in medicine for almost 25 years now, and I've been a GP partner for 15. And I've been a bit fed up over the years seeing that lots of people are taking more and more and more medicines which are supposed to be helping, but the rate of disease is going up and up and up. And as a result of that, I ended up doing a diploma in lifestyle medicine, and now I try and talk to patients more about their lifestyle causes of their illness rather than giving them more prescriptions, which in my opinion are doing very little apart from massaging the numbers. But why was that important to me? And why did I have to take a personal journey as a result of doing some of that reflection? Well, as you can see from that picture I put up earlier, I have been very overweight. I've grown up in the 70s and 80s on the west coast of Scotland, a highly sectarian part of the world, where I was the only brown kid that took the Catholic bus to the Protestant school. You develop a pretty thick skin when that happens. And when you grow up in a household where the communication skills are pretty poor and everyone yells and screams and raises their hand, well, you develop some pretty bad, or I should say pretty unhelpful or maladaptive coping strategies, as they're known. And my one was food. And over the years, from about the age of 10 onwards, I became very overweight. I became obese, as it were. And there was points where I was healthy and I lost a fair bit of weight, usually when I was chasing a girl. But most of my life, I've been unhealthy. And that ended up with me, I'd say, bordering on an event. Maybe that's what we should call it, an event. Now, I spent all this time in the last few years telling patients that they needed to lose weight. They needed to stop eating as much food as they were. They needed to do some exercise. All the while my chair at work creaking under the 20 stone, almost 19.5 that I got to. In fact, I'll show a graph here. This is a graph of my weight in the last 10 years. And you can see there's a big spike. That is 119.5 kilos. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. So I realised that telling people all of this stuff but not actually walking the walk wasn't helpful. And this came to a bit of a head during COVID. So very stressful time for everyone. We all battled our demons. And in my case, I was eating way too much. Sometimes having 2 or 3 pizzas in a day. I was drinking loads. I was helping a friend try and save his brewery, and he couldn't afford to pay me, which was fine. I was designing his labels, but he was sending me cases and cases of beer. And at one point, I had 24 cases of beer in my garage. I decided one day I should probably get on the exercise bike in the garage, and I have a photo of how I looked on that day, which is here. And I realised, oh, you're very unfit now. But what really happened was I'd forgotten my water bottle. And about 15 minutes in, I thought, oh, well, there's some session ale there. I better just have one of those. So I started having a beer on the bike. And that was a big message that things had gone pretty bad. Now, on the 17th of September 2020, I had a long conversation with my wife about everything: health, well-being, a relationship. My snoring was terrible. This is my snoring. At that point, using a thing called Snore Lab. scoring 207 or something, I can't remember. And at that point I was in the spare room because it was so loud she couldn't sleep. And that day was the last time that I did a lot of things. I stopped drinking for about 2 years, and now I'll only have something at special occasions or in my book group that I go to, maybe a few on holiday, but that's it. And I really changed my diet. I stopped eating meat, I stopped eating dairy, I stopped eating refined carbohydrates, and I moved away from ultra-processed foods altogether. And within I'd say a couple of months, my snoring was like this. It was undetectable. I moved back into the bedroom with my wife, and I realised, hey, you know what? This lifestyle medicine stuff, it really works. So I did more exercise. I continued on that path of good eating. I went to bed 9 o'clock every night. I got up at 5 every day. I did an hour of self-improvement work, like mindfulness, yoga, meditation, things like that. And I have stuck at it for the last 5 years. I've just gone past my 5-year anniversary of doing this stuff. I'm now down to 92 kilos from 119. I sleep brilliantly. I can run for miles. I've done 2 Ironmans, one in 2022, one in 2024. That's Kalmar and Copenhagen. I'm a much better example for the kids. I never lose my temper. I never feel bad about myself. And I'm basically loving my life. But what's more important is that when I tell people about things like this, and I tell them about why they should cut certain foods out their diet, or why they should stop drinking alcohol and get rid of toxic substances and behaviours, I really mean it, because I've lived it. And on top of that, I started seeing a therapist, and I've been seeing her for 5 years, and I still see her every 6 weeks or so. And she's helped me unravel where all of those maladaptive coping strategies came from, and also helped me to manufacture new ones, which are much more adaptive. I guess that's what you call it, adaptive. So I encourage everyone to do that. If you've got a problem with your car, you don't just go and tinker with it. You go speak to someone who knows about it, or you go on YouTube and watch a video of someone who knows what they're doing. And that sort of brings me full circle. There's a lot of people out there telling you things. Mostly what they're telling you is their opinion, not the facts. And a lot of them are skinny, fit athletes who've never struggled with the stuff you're struggling with, and I have. So I hope that gives you a bit of an understanding as to who I am as a person, what my background is, what my qualifications are, and why I think it's important to have this channel up and running. So, I'm Dr Zain, and that's me explained. I'm sure there's more, but I've run out of road. I feel like Back to the Future. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.